I wanted to talk about, is this right? Yeah. I wanted to talk about a few things, some books, some axes that are ruined, some future projects, all types of stuff. I guess I'll wait like a couple minutes to start talking about this stuff because I don't really want to talk to nobody. Are you supposed to just talk to nobody? Or are you supposed to, like, you know? I don't know. Sometimes I could be kind of a nervous host. I'm like trying to make everybody feel right. I'm trying to make the food good. I'm getting unnecessary things. Like I'll have, what are they called again? Prostitutes? I'll always have prostitutes every get together. The person here left. Not a fan of prostitutes. Hey, Jesus was a fan of prostitutes. That's what I always say. Now, I'm actually not a patron of prostitutes. This is all fake. Anyway, yeah, so I'll just give you guys a preview of what we're going to do. We're going to go through some of the books I have. We're going to look at some of the future projects I have. And we're going to check out some beat up, abused, and ruined axes. So, I hope people show up because that would be nice to have people to talk to. Although, you know, it's an archive. I'll get into it soon, but I'm just being a weirdo. I guess the first thing I want to do is talk about books that aren't really related, or, you know, kind of loosely related. So these are some of my favorite books. The tree books, so important. It's really hard. It was really hard for me to identify books. I mean, it's actually really easy to identify books. They have the author and the name of the book. I was really bad at identifying trees, so this one really helped. Now, trees aren't exactly as specific as, say, fungus, which I have a lot of those books too, and I'll show some of those. But, you know, it does say of the East, and there's other books that are like Northeast maybe that I might have. But this is a really, really good book. I'll show you some pages of this. Really great book. I mean, look at that. Leaves, bark, what is that? Bud? I can't really tell what that is looking at the... Yeah, well, you could see there's a lot of good stuff. The buds, the twigs, a lot of good stuff in this book. I really love this book. This is probably my favorite tree book for me. So it's of the East, so it's relevant for me. When it comes to books that aren't so good, no, this is mushrooms. Well, I'll just show you the Audubon Guide for Trees. It kind of sucks. Let me look for it. See if I can find it. Oh, I don't know if I have it in here. Uh-oh. Oh, no, it might be in here. Oh, man, I'm pulling out a lot of stuff right here. This is going to be... this is good. I'll show you guys. I don't read books, but I do like guidebooks. Man, it's not in here? I guess not. I guess I don't have it in here. The reason why I don't really like the Audubon Guide is because it is, I don't know, it's just not that good. I'll show you the mushroom one, and maybe that'll give you an idea. In here, there's a mushroom that's in here twice. I think it has a different name too. So here's what they have. They'll have an illustration. I'm not sure if this is exactly like the book for trees, but yeah, I mean, it's good. You want as many references as you can have for this stuff. But then they have like Jason Brown, 100% agree. Getting to know trees and mushrooms led me to axes. Yeah, that's how I got here. I loved mushrooms. I loved fungus. It was all about the adventure. Like I liked going outside and going in the woods, and then to find edible mushrooms or to identify mushrooms, it's smart to know trees because trees are like companions to mushrooms. A lot of them, at least. So here's another book, Trees of the Eastern North. It's another tree book. And if I remember correctly, yeah, this is illustrations, and really, this is another really good book. Like look at that. So important for leaves like this is like it's alternate or opposite. You'll learn all that stuff when you get into trees. It's really helpful for identifying though. Then I have like, I don't really like this idiot's guide. I don't like when it calls me an idiot in the book. But this is a foraging book. It's kind of like a beginner's book. I'll show you. Yeah, here's chicken of the woods, just so you can get an idea. This is a fungus that's people like eating this one. Really easy to see that fungus. It's super bright orange most of the time, and either it has a yellow or white pore surface, so the underneath, the underside, and you can see it from like hundreds of feet away sometimes. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, this is a really cool mushroom book. It's one of my favorites. Let me see, the beautiful, beautiful pictures. What is it called? Mushrooms of Northeast North America. Really beautiful book. I recommend this one if you're in the Northeast. What else we got here? I don't really know too much about this book. I don't remember too much, but it's another foraging book. I'll just show you one page here. All these books kind of go together. Like, if you learn about the understory, so this is all understory stuff mostly. If you learn about the understory, you understand more about the forest. All this stuff is important for each other. Here's probably the coolest mushroom book I own. This is a macrofungi associated with oaks. So this is a specifically mushrooms that are associated with oaks. It's just a really cool book of Eastern North America. And the pictures are great. All the information is good. You just go through it a little. If you guys aren't into books, we're getting to axes later. And we're getting to the axe books in a second as well. So look at all the amazing fungus. If you don't have any interest in fungus, give it a go when it comes to trying a gourmet edible mushroom that you find in the woods. Once you try that, you might get hooked. You're like, oh wow, I can like find the greatest ingredient in the woods for free. And now people might say, oh, but you have to like hike for an hours. But that's the fun part. You get to adventure. You get to learn about things. Like you'll understand. Okay, so elm is associated with morels, or chanterelles are in this certain habitat. So it helps you learn about trees, honestly. And any like kind of dendrologist, I'm sure they'd have a little bit of knowledge about mushrooms just because they're kind of intertwined. Let's see, do I have another one? Trees of Eastern North America. This one's another illustration book, I believe. Oh wait, did I show this already? I might have showed this already. But yeah, this is a good one too. Now when it comes to fungus, it's super, super regional. Like you can't just go, okay, I have a book from Japan about mushrooms and now I know about mushrooms where I live in the United States. No, don't do that. That's actually dangerous because they might not have the same toxic lookalikes. So really important to get specific guidebooks for your area, or join a club that's like very specific towards your area. All right, so let's get into. Oh, this is a good one. Appalachian mushrooms too. This is a really good one. This is as good as the one on oaks, I think. So very specific information, good pictures. Here's the thing about trees and mushrooms is like there's different stages of growth. And so that's another factor that makes it hard to identify them. Like I'm still not very good. When I see a sapling or I see a young tree, the bark is completely different. So that's why it's really good to have books or have specific knowledge on things like what the twig will look like or the buds or how the leaves are arranged. It's just so important to know these little details to actually identify trees. You'll see like tree service guys and they'll go, that's a maple, that's a hybrid or something. And they'll know just because they've done it so many times in that area. But when you're someone like me, I haven't messed with that tree hundreds, maybe thousands of times. So I don't know every time. I'm like, I think it's a red maple. I think it's not a hard maple. I'm not really sure. So the more information you're going to get, the better. Because one time I actually was using Craigslist free to get some firewood, and they lied. They lied, and they said it was ash, and it was actually Tree of Heaven, which has sap that can enlarge your heart. Now it's kind of rare, but it was some real it was a scumbag move. So the tree service guys were still at the site, and they wouldn't. One of the guys was like in the truck, and he wouldn't even look me in the eyes, and I was like, this is kind of weird. And I was staring at the firewood rounds for a while. I don't know if you call them firewood rounds because it's like dangerous, but the rounds, I was just looking at them, and I was like, that doesn't look like ash to me. But I eventually, after like 10 minutes, and this guy not even looking into my eyes, I took them. And then I found out later this is Tree of Heaven. I'm not sure if someone informed me. It might have been Ryan, one of our axe guys who he hasn't posted in a while, but he made that video where he put in like 500 swings in a conifer to fell it, and his hands were bleeding. I think his name is Ryan. I'll link his channel in the description after this video, after I end the live. So, oh, here's a really good book. Oh, an excellent book, Managing Your Woods. I really recommend this book for anybody interested and is a beginner in forestry or like anything like that. There's not a lot of illustrations. I think there might be some about tree health in the beginning. Let me see. Oh, that might be the other book that I want to show you guys. Yeah, I mean, this is really a great book. Characteristics of some major tree species, and it gives you lifespan right here. It gives you all types of really good information, and the whole book is just worth its weight in salt. When salt used to, people used to fight wars over salt. I don't know if I showed this one, but this is one of the best. Yeah, I showed this in the very beginning, but people are slowly coming in. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful book for identifying trees. Really good. Here's one to fell a tree. I haven't really looked through this in a while, but it looks pretty decent. It looks okay. So would I recommend it? If you're a beginner, yeah, sure, check it out. If you can get it for cheap. This says 19 bucks on the back. I don't know how much I got it for. I don't think it was that much, but I think this was a good book. Yeah, it looks good to me. Now let's get into axes because I'm ethical axe, but it's all related. This stuff is all related. Or we'll get into tools. So this is really a great book. Really a great book. Hand tools, their ways and workings. This is a good book, but the next one I show you is going to be even better. There's picture illustrations, and I guess it's like a how-to, how using these things go. Let me look through it and I'll read and I'll get some specifics. What would you guys be interested in? Oh yeah, this is something I saw that was really cool in here, I think. Yeah, this is actually a cool book. I'll show you something very interesting. Look at this. This is so cool. They're using the tang of a file as a scraper. Look at that. That's so cool. I don't know exactly if it's scrapers, but it says under scrapers, so it's a discarded file. Edges beveled and sharpened, heated with torch and bent to shape. That is really cool. And look, it makes like a rabbit or whatever you want to call that. I'm not too a groove, whatever. Isn't that awesome? I mean, that's amazing. So I do recommend this book. This is an awesome book. I just haven't looked at it in a while. But really, probably the greatest hand tool book I've ever this is just out of this world wonderful book. Dictionary of American Hand Tools, a pictorial synopsis. I mean, this thing is, I can't even go into words how good this book is. It's tremendous. I saw bench shears in here. I don't know if I'll be able to find them. I saw bench shears in this book, right? They're these massive looking scissors, and they can be like up to 40, 50 pounds, I think. And I saw them in the book, and I was like, whoa, these are the coolest things, you know? And then I went to a flea market, and I was able to identify them because I saw them in this book. So that was like, I was so happy about that. Look, this isn't just one kind of hand tool. This is axes, hatchets, all kinds of stuff. Extremely obscure things. You'll just, like, look at this. Would you know what that is? No, you would not know what that is because I wouldn't. It's a brick cleaner. What? Window just opened, scared the shit out of me. Let's keep going. I don't really have to close that, but I think that means there's a storm coming. Yeah, let me look through this because this book is amazing. Now, it's not going to give you tons of information, but it basically is just like a reference place, so you can say, oh, now I know what that tool is called. Like it'll have kind of vague sections, and then you can go through it and hopefully find what you're looking for. Look at this. It's amazing. This book is out of this world. So, Dictionary of American Hand Tools. Not only do I recommend this for someone that goes to the markets, this is like mandatory. You got to get this book. One of the best books I've ever seen for hand tools. Not one of, it's the best book. Now, I'm not like, I don't have millions of books. I haven't seen millions of books, but that's the best hand tool book I know of. If you guys are into green woodworking, I recommend this one, Country Woodcraft by Drew Langsner. This one is excellent. So I think Skill Cult recommended this, and I think this guy might be his buddy, the author, or he might know the author. This is just such a good book. I mean, I got my idea for butter knives out of here. It just tells you all kinds of stuff about, you know, kind of the stuff we like, the manual hand tool kind of world. Shave horse section. Wow. And this is the revised edition. So it's about like tools then and now. So I think this guy kind of had a book 40 years before that he wrote, and then he went over it again with the now part of it. Really great book. White oak basketry. I mean, look at this stuff. This is so cool. Even if you know some of this stuff, this might give you some ideas of what you might want to make. I'm just going to skip through. Here's what is this called again? Let me go to the front of this. I forget what this is called. Bowl carvers, low bench stuff. Shit, what is this called? Me and Urban Lumberjack have talked about this before. Hold on a sec. Hey, what's up, guys? If I missed anybody's messages, I'm going to go through in a sec. So half log bowls. And, you know, you can make these bigger and you could mix dough in them, stuff like that. Look at this. This is a step-by-step guide. This is so cool. Here, I'll skip a little more. We'll look at more of this. Pine whisks. Look at that. This book is incredible. So I really do recommend this book for anybody kind of interested in the old ways of doing things, or maybe you're interested in just working wood in different ways. Great book. Country Woodcraft. You know, if you're one of the people that's from the suburbs or a urban place, and you have kind of like you have negative feelings towards country people, rural people, you start getting into things like this, you see the beautiful things these people can do. It's hard to hate them. I mean, I would never, now I'm like, I kind of hate that when people are against each other just because of their lifestyles, because you need each other, like city people and rural people need each other. It's just so, it's like saying, you know, I hate my farmer. I hate the guy that grows my food. And then it's like the farmer saying, I hate the guy that buys my food. That's really dumb. That's like the opposite of symbiosis. And I don't know. I just hate that shit. So now let's get into axes. I wish I could get all of these because I think these are some of the best axe books you can get. I think it's the guy, it's Thomas C. Lamond. I think it's the guy who does Yesteryear Tools. I think he might have died, and I think his family's still selling these, but I'm not really sure. So this one is axes and associated hand tools used in logging, lumbering, and related activities, 1800 to 2000. I mean, that's amazing. So look at this. Look how detailed this is. So it's talking about this double bit axe. It's saying, here's the shoulder, here's the bevel, here's the heel, this is the bit. It's just all going to help you. This is all going to help you understand the nomenclature about axes. So this is the bit, this is the heel, this is the toe. It's just fantastic. I really would recommend this for anybody, especially guys that are a little more into it. I mean, this is just amazing. Marking axes. I don't even remember this stuff. Look at these hookaroons that are like double-sided. Oh, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. That's amazing. I got to go through this again. Here's PVs and cant hooks. Actually, I just see PVs. Fantastic book. I recommend that too. Let's get into. We have two more axe books. This is my second favorite to that yellow one, but if I could, I would get all those books from that guy. Hey, what's up, axe man, knife man? You're a double guy. Two men over there. You're as strong as two men. Axe Makers of North America. Great one. Really good book. Now, there's one book I have on a PDF that I don't have in person, like I don't have physically, and it's Embossed Axes of America. And it's funny, my pal on Instagram, who I get a lot of advice and information from, and he's really helped me with my hafting skills. He hates the word embossing because it's really an etch. But anyway, that is an amazing book, and I borrowed it from the library because it was like $600 on Amazon, so I was able to copy it onto a PDF for myself. But here's this one. This one's really good too. I guess this is just about the specific axe makers. And so I'm not going to get it too much into that one. This one is more of a beginner's one. It's kind of like about, you know, the tasks and some of the, like, just a really little bit of information on, like, some axes. Here's the one on Chopper 1. Our Very Best. Yeah, I really think this is a beginner's book. But it's a good book. It's fine. It just didn't do much for me. So it's called American Axe, the tool that shaped a continent. A lot of these books have pretty cool names, don't they? Anyway, let's get into actual axes now. I'm just putting these books away. All right. So I guess first thing I should do is talk about a learning lesson. This, oh wow, it's really coming down. This was my grandfather's half hatchet, and this is before I knew what I was doing. I took the patina off with a belt grinder. It wasn't my belt grinder, but I was able to use a belt grinder, and I just removed the patina. And now I have no way of knowing if this was branded or not. And it's kind of a nice half hatchet. It looks pretty old, pretty nice though too, right? It looks like it might have been a more of a costly half hatchet. Look what I did. Look how I hung it. I was actually given this handle for free. This was one of the first. I was like, yeah, I have this half hatchet. I don't know, you know, one day I'll like hang it or something. And a nice guy gave me this handle. But this was before I knew what I was doing, so not well done. There's a gap here. Little tiny gap in the back. It's not really. I have the same exact. You have the same half hatchet. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, is it branded? You know, a lot of the times people will say I have the same thing, and it's, you know, it's similar, but it's not the exact same one. But I'd love to know if it's branded. If you have one of these. So yeah, I didn't do a great job. I ruined it, possibly. I mean, not possibly. I ruined any chance of knowing what it was, and it also had a really gorgeous patina on it. And when I was doing this, some guy was like, "Ooh, you're removing it all? You're removing the patina?" It's kind of difficult. So the guys like me, now that I have more experience, it's hard to tell someone, "Hey, don't remove that patina," because people, "Oh, it's an artist. Yours is an artisan." I wonder if that's possible. Not sure. Um, yeah, so like if I see someone removing a patina, I just think, wow, that's a lot of work for something that really isn't, like I would not do that now. It was more work back then when I didn't know what I was doing, and it didn't improve the tool at all. It just like makes you think you're restoring something. Removing patina is not restoration. Now there are ways to like make it kind of cool. You'll just clean up the pole, or you'll take like you'll clean this up because sometimes it's beat up here and on the bottom. I do like that. I think that's like classy to polish or just make it kind of smooth. But the cheeks are really, to me, the cheeks are sacred. So leave the cheeks be unless there's a real good reason for you to do that. Like if it's a race axe and you want it to be, you want it to not stick as little as possible. Sure, yeah, polish those cheeks up. I understand that completely because that's what they're supposed to be to work as best as possible. But this is like a learning lesson. And look at that. There's the metal wedge. Last metal wedge I probably ever used. Maybe not, but one of the last ones I ever used. And it's a really nice little hatchet, but I just did a terrible job. And it is really sharp. So I was able to sharpen. Sharpening, honestly, is not that hard, in my opinion. Once you like understand it and you have a little experience, so you just practice a few times. And I would advise to practice on cheap Chinese hatchets. It's not a big deal to sharpen, especially hatchets and axes, guys. Knives are hard to sharpen. They're very fine, thin pieces of metal, so that's a little more delicate. With an axe and a hatchet, I mean, look at all that steel you have. You can spend like days ruining this and then resharpening it, and it's still a hatchet that'll work. So now let's talk about some future projects. So here's actually an axe from Axe Yankee, who I talked about earlier. This is a Snow and Neely. Is it Bangor? Yeah, it's a Bangor, Maine Snow and Neely wedge. It's a wedge pattern, not a main wedge pattern. It's just called a wedge pattern. And it has a 3 3/4 weight stamp right here. So another reason why you want to be careful about smoothing the pole, grinding it, and here too. It might have a pole stamp, so it might have a weight stamp here or here. And it might also have something here. Usually there's like a mark, or sometimes the blacksmith will kind of do his initials there or something. This one's a real beauty though. I'm excited. He even put a banana grind on it, so I won't need to really do much to the edge. It's like sharp enough. I could use it, but I'd probably hone it a little bit. Now it's been sitting for quite some time. So here's another one. This is one of my cooler cruisers. It has the 2-2 weight stamp right here. It does say True Temper Kelly Works. And here's the important part. It's best made. Flint Edge, best axe made. And it's a guy. I didn't know what this guy was doing. I thought he was like swinging into I thought he was swinging an axe into into a firewood round. No, he's like tempering an axe or quenching an axe or something. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, that's good. Isn't that funny? I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know what the guy was doing. I don't know what he was talking about. And then, oh boy. And then this is what I want to do. I really want to do this one. This is one Mike gave me, my flea market pal. It's a PA Dutch German axe. Possibly 1800s, possibly early 1900s, and it's just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous axe. Really, you can't get much better, and that'll split really well. So I'm excited for this one. The eye is definitely worrying me. Like I'm scared. I'm scared to give this a go, but it'll be fine. I might have to put it on a shorter handle though, because of this. The top of the eye is not as wide as the bottom of the eye, which is the opposite of most axes. So it could fly out. This is an axe where you have to hang it proud. So the tongue has to come out a little bit, not that much, but so you can have that spread above the eye so it locks in. And now let's go over some beat up axes or ruined axes. You guys might remember this. Here's an ice axe. I was trying to be cute and split firewood, and that's a brutal one. Brutal, brutal, brutal. I did So it looks right. That the handle looks okay here, but I mean, there's some problems with it. It's a little square and it's a little thick, but it's okay. It's all right. It actually feels okay in my hand. Not that it matters, since you can't really swing this at anything but ice. I found that out the hard way. It's a pin oak handle. This is the pin oak sapwood. Really pretty stuff, though. Very white lumber. And here, I'll show you how good the lumber is. It's okay. Good enough. Not really any run out, I don't think. Yeah, that's actually really good. And I love the oak kind of pinstripes. I don't know what you call those. I love those. Beautiful. It was red, and I removed the paint. I hate paint on axes because it just comes off whenever you use it. Doesn't really matter for an ice axe, but I just don't. I would much rather see patina or rust that I can turn into patina than paint. Really bothers me for an axe that I put into timber. It always comes off. So I think I showed this recently, and someone said this is actually how it should be. I don't know if I can get this off. I can't get this off because it's humid. The relative humidity is high, but there's no tongue. Look how far my finger goes in there. There's like less than half the tongue in there. But someone told me that this is actually how it's supposed to be. These like little groove. It almost looks like someone mistakenly ground into the axe on both sides diagonally. So on the top here and on the bottom on this side. It's very strange. Someone told me that's normal. But this is the original National Pattern handle. So it says plum, tested plum hickory USA. This is a very special one. People would love this. The original paint is still there. Same with on the handle. I almost got rid of this paint. Someone was like, no, dude, that is the original paint. I was like, it looks like someone spray painted it with gold and silver. It's like, yeah, that's what it's. It was silver on one side and gold on the other, I think. So I almost screwed up, big royal screw up. I've copied this handle. It's very nice. Let's get a big view of it. Very nice handle. Very nice accent. Let's be honest. The National Pattern is maybe not the best design. Look how that's not a lot of eye, but that's really cool. Big wide bit, kind of short pole. Not as bad as a Hudson Bay, but especially when this is only like 1.5 or 1.75 pounds, you can get away with that. But look at that beauty. Really nice. I'm tempted to use this one day, but it's probably worth more as it is right now. In the winter, this handle comes right out. It shrinks and it comes right out because there's so much tongue missing. That's how much tongue is. Wow. So it's halfway in there. Yeah. That's pretty bad. All right. I already showed this in the beginning. Not really sure what this is. This is just a really worn down axe. Now look how big that is. A huge pull. This could be a nice wedge banger. It's a little light, but it would, it'd be a light wedge banger if someone doesn't need a big axe for that. But yeah, look how worn it is. Pretty nice though. Yeah, did you guys see the rust come off when I was popping my letters and my words? The rust flew. There's a dust cloud. Now let's get to the really beat up axes. Here's a keen cutter with cracks in the eye. Is it here? Yeah, the crack goes all the way down to the edge here. And then on the other side, you see the crack goes all the way down here. So this is pretty much unusable. And I paid too much for this. I didn't pay a lot, but I paid too much because it's really... Oh, you know what? I don't have a Connecticut pattern like this, so that's kind of why I wanted it. It is nice. It's just cooked. And this is kind of what I was talking about a little while ago, is that sometimes you make a handle and the wood just has flaws, and when you're carving it, it has a kind of a concave, and they just left it, but it's smooth, so it doesn't matter. You could use this if it was not broken. I don't mind that sort of thing. Now, if you pay like $700 for an axe, you're going to want the handle to be looking pretty good. Here's one. Here's a plum I think Plum calls these jet wings. And it's got terrible cracks all the way up to here in the front of the eye. Is it on the other side too? Oh, it's just one side. So nice. So it's just one side. It's cracked all the way up to here. That's pretty much ruined. And look at the handle too. I didn't even talk about that. It's kind of it's actually a pretty comfortable handle. I could copy this. That palm swell is pretty nice. Painted like gray for some reason. And then here's my one of my best finds that's also completely cooked. This is possibly a McKinnon Rockaway. And it's just, look at that. It's just completely folded. You might not see a worse axe on a handle when it comes to being crunched like that. Really bad. I don't know if you can see I can't really see the words, but I'm just guessing it's a McKinnon Rockaway. It just has that flavor. Tastes like it. Just licked it like a lollipop. No, I didn't. Disgusting. And another really cool thing about this is the handle. A decent Rockaway is my white whale right now. Who does that? Yeah, I know, it's sad, but so in my last video I talked about how I crunch. I went metal to metal with my Council tool, and I said in like 50 years someone's going to be like, oh, some idiot ruined this axe. Well, when the axe is new and it's not vintage, you know, it's easier to do something like this. I doubt this was brand new when someone ruined this, but you know, you never know. But another cool thing about this, look at that. It's a curly handle. Beautiful. Beautiful curl. Beautiful 34-inch handle. If I ever want a 34-inch handle, I'll copy this. I need a drink. I sound like I'm getting emotional, but I just dry throat. All right. Oh, do I have something over here too? Oh yeah, I wanted to show this. This is a project that I forgot. I wanted to show this just to make myself do this. Here's a cleaver, and I hate flattening things, but I can get this done. I can make this. I did really screw up, and I dove into the metal right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. I dove into the metal a little bit. I guess you know, I could just do it. I don't need to fix that. But it looks like people use this as like a fro. Look at that. They used the spine metal to metal. Maybe they were crunching bones or something. But I can get this mallet done. I mean, this cleaver done. Yeah, it's not branded. It's pretty cool. Pretty thick, too. Nice thick boy. And I have some beach scales that I want to make. But I just haven't gotten to it. So hopefully this will motivate me to do this, because now people know. Oh, here's another project I want to get to. This is my only Kelly Perfect, I think. Or one of my only Kelly Perfects. And this is on a Killinger handle, and I did it before I really knew what I was doing. You can see all that thickness right here in the shoulder. That's way too thick. I didn't get a lot of wedge in, but I did get some wedge in. I mean, it's held, it's not loose. Maybe I'll just shape it, but who knows? Maybe I'll redo this. Because look, it's pretty high up too. It'll look a lot better if I shave this, thin this down though. Pretty nice handle. This is an old Killinger. Alright. I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, unless you guys want to talk about the current events. That's everybody's favorite subject. Possible World War III, possible another regime change war. Who doesn't love another sending our young kids to war again for something that's probably awful to the other population as well? Has my phone got a crack? Nope. Yeah, I'm guessing nobody else is very excited at the prospect of another regime change war. Anybody have any thoughts on regime change wars? No. That should be the title of this. Anybody have any thoughts on regime change wars? Well, I do want to. You know what? We're not supposed to talk about this on Axe channels, but let's get into it. Like, so the early 2000s, we were told that Iraq had WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. And because of 9/11, we thought it's a good idea to invade there because they did 9/11. We found out later they had nothing to do with 9/11, probably. And then there's like Syria, Libya. How many places in the Middle East? You know, you don't even really have to hate. You don't have to have any. You don't have to care at all about the people of these places. You don't have to have sympathy for people getting hurt. Just think about your own self-interests. If you make people hate you in the millions, you know, that's not going to be good for your country anyway. Yeah, people don't want to talk. People don't want me talking about this. Sorry. I just don't. Yeah, it makes me very sad. War is like the saddest thing that humans do to each other. I guess maybe biological weapons, like if we made a virus and then spread it across the world and killed like half the population, that would be pretty sad too. But we haven't done that yet. So right now, war is the saddest thing we do to each other. It's just fucking terrible, especially HD footage. Like you see a missile land in a populated area now, and it's not like this. Oh, I'm so excited for the boys going to get theirs. It's not like that anymore. Now you can actually see what happens. You get to see crying children, you know, buried under rubble. It's just, all right. Let's not talk about this. Usually I want to be like fun. I want to make these fun, but I don't know. It seems like we're able to get tricked. I don't even think it's the population getting tricked into another regime change war. I think it's just the powers that be just do it, and you know they try to get the popular sentiment to go along with it. Yeah, now you can't tell what's real with AI. Yeah, it does. It is really weird how AI videos are getting like pretty good. It's not exactly there. Like people can usually there's like if you're looking at like a place with comments, usually there will be a comment where it's like, "What are you guys talking about? This is obviously AI." But soon, I'd imagine it's going to get to the point where you can't even tell. And so I was thinking about this. I was thinking like, how can we do anything about that? And I would imagine we would have to regulate AI companies, and it would have to be in the code that you can identify that it's AI. Now, when you copy a video over and over again, I don't know how that works. Like, if you just take a screenshot of an AI video, that might make it a little more difficult to tell what's going on. If you guys saw that that urgent message from the future thing that I did, it's like distorted. Like, imagine what if that was AI, and all you have to do is just distort it to make it look real. I don't know how. It's beyond my intelligence, but yeah, AI videos are probably going to be a big problem for us. Like, wasn't there a thing where, was it last Trump presidency where like there was this minor interaction, and people said it was like a hand movement. They said it was like edited out or something. I don't know. I don't really remember too much of what I'm talking about, but do you guys remember that? It was like a little video, it didn't matter, and it was like, I forget what it was. Maybe it was something that would be embarrassing. I just can't remember though. But yeah, I'll do another live, by the way, later, maybe next week, because I haven't done one in a while and it's fun. This one, not as many people came in, probably because I'm showing off books. Not a lot of big book guys here. Oh, I thought I'd go over some books that aren't about, speaking of war. Here's the book 1984. This book really did something to me. So I already have like a distrust of groups and kind of thing. It was proven to me at a very early age. You know, authority might not have your best interest, or, you know, there might be not corruption, but tyranny, whatever you want to call it. 1984. This book really did something for me. I lended it to someone and they ruined it. That's why it's all ripped up like this. I lended it to this guy and he didn't even read it. He just ruined it. How do you ruin a book and not read it? I guess he put it in like a bag or something, or I don't know, but he ruined the book. He ruined the book. He didn't read it. Um, Here's a good book, though. Well, I wouldn't say so much as the book is good because I can't really get into books like this. It's a little beyond my brain capacity. But Stoicism is something I really believe in. Just control, worry about what you can control, kind of thing. It's a really good kind of operating system for a man's brain, a young man's brain. Um, kind of like, so let's read the back. Let's read the back. It is philosophy that is the duty of protecting us. Without it, no one could lead a life free of fear or worry. And this is the whole. I don't even remember what they call these. Summary? I don't remember what they call the back. That's how little I read. For several years of his turbulent life, in which he was dogged by ill health, exile, and political danger, Seneca, from 4 BC to 65 AD, was his lifetime, was the guiding hand of the Roman Empire. His inspired reasoning derived mainly from the Stoic principles, which had originally been developed some centuries earlier in Athens. This selection of Seneca's letters shows him upholding the austere, I don't know this shit, the austere ethical ideals of Stoicism, the wisdom of the self-possessed person immune to overmastering emotions and life setbacks, while valuing friendships and the courage of ordinary men and criticizing the harsh treatment of slaves and the cruelties in the gladiatorial arena. The humanity and wit revealed in Seneca's interpretation of Stoicism is a moving and inspiring declaration of the dignity of the individual mind. That doesn't do much for you either, does it? But yeah, Stoicism is a really good operating system to run that brain under. Speaking of terrible things people have done to each other, here's an interesting book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. So this guy was in the Holocaust, and he wrote, did he write this book when he was in a concentration camp? I don't know. But he basically is a therapist in a concentration camp, and this is a book he wrote. I got to page 31. It was actually really good, 31 pages, but I'm just not much of a reader. But maybe someone else would value this book more than me. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll end the live. Not a lot of people showed up because I'm a witless bore. But thank you to Jason, Wally, Axeman, Knifeman, for showing up, throwing down a few comments, calling me fat. Nah, you didn't do that. I did. But yeah. Thank you so much, and goodbye.